This is like crazy interesting that I am not getting any of the AP score for this mission like I'm supposed to. This is insane. I might have to do this mission over again. Hello everybody, welcome back to Train Sim World, where we are about to play the 4V53 London Gateway to Bristol Terminal. Also an intermodal train, supposedly takes 40 minutes. And this mission in particular is going to be 8,050 AP points to get platinum medal, and you can easily see what the gold medal is. And you can see already we got a wet day with a little bit of precipitation, so let's get into it. Unlike the last mission, we are actually going in the opposite direction. We're heading towards Reading, and we're going to go via location to West Drayton Platform 3 and Maidenhead Platform 3. The first thing we need to do is, of course, turn on our cab lights, so that way we can see what's going on. And apparently I've gotten a reward by turning on the cab light, so let's turn on the intermittent lights and maybe we'll get a reward for that. Nothing for the tail light, so that's fine. How about the desk light? Would you give me a reward for that? No, you will not. So we're obviously in a yard, but we're not going to be in a yard very long, so we might as well put our headlight to day headlight running mode. It is 9 o'clock in the morning, so it makes perfect sense to have that. I don't think it's raining, but we're going to play it safe and not turn on the window wipers and see what happens, and we'll see where it goes. I don't think I need to demeister for it either. Our engine should already be on. Everything in here is already on, so all I have to do is put in the reverser, put that up to forward, and get ready to roll out. Our parking brake, for some mysterious reason, is turned off. Our brakes are not, so we're just going to go ahead and charge up our brakes. It's going to take a minute to get our brakes to charge up, so once that happens, we'll get right back to you. Alright, our engine's ready to go finally. This little pressure gauge is just going to drop down to 0. Other than that, it's pretty much ready to go. So all we have to do is put up our throttle to notch 1. While we're waiting on notch 1 to do a thing, let's go ahead and turn on the DSD isolate to unisolated, and we'll turn on the AWS here. Push Q to just get rid of that tone and go back into this. We're also going to turn on the hot plate. I finally learned what the hot plate is. We're going to turn it on to high. So these two things are our hot plates, and what they're meant for is to, believe it or not, cook on the journey wherever we go. And it's so we can have things like this wonderful tea that I'm drinking here. We can actually have tea on the train and it'll stay nice and hot for the journey. We can cook up a meal on there if we needed to, so that way we don't feel like we're starving. But nobody ever said where's the bathroom on these Class 66s, so someone please help me with that. Where are the bathrooms? I love the fact that I think we're moving, but we're not moving. The dial says we're not moving, but yet this thing is moving. What's going on here? There it goes. I'm like, why are we moving? For the sake of this, we're going to overheat the heater just because the heater doesn't actually work in game. So we're just going to do that, and we have the cabinet lights already on, so we're just going to leave that where it is. That's perfectly fine. There's things in this train that just don't work. It boggles my mind how many things in these types of trains don't actually do what they're supposed to do. Let's contact the signaler, and it says proceed at singles indicate. So as our train slowly picks up speed, it's just going to take a while for this engine to do its thing. Oh my god, look at how pretty that is. My goodness, somebody got me an EWS engine. Nobody ever told me I'd be driving a different style of Class 66. Who bought this for me? Did I buy a downloadable thing that I don't know anything about? It says English, Welsh, and Scottish Railway. It is time to be a Scottish driver. Yay! Now all I have to do is get my Scottish lilt on and everything is going to be just fine. That's so exciting. We're leaving Acton Yard right now, or at least Action Main Line. That's at least how you would say this here. We've got about a 20-car intermodal freight line, and this is going to be on the way all the way to Reading. What we're going to be looking at today is we're going to be looking at what happened to the Class 66s. However, we're not going to be talking about that with the Great Western Express, at least not today. We're going to be talking about that with GB Railfreight. GB Railfreight decided to go, so let me back up for a second. Let me push Q first to back up. So GB Railfreight is also one of the many companies that have lost the ability to buy new Class 66s. If you might remember, I think I said it in the last episode or the one before, the Class 66s basically are officially discontinued. There's a bunch of subclasses to the 66s. I bet you this is the subclass already as it is. You guys will know this more than I do, because I am a train driver, not a train analyzer, right? We are on our way to the other track. We're about to speed up to 70 miles an hour here, and actually what we need to wait on is this back end of the engine to finally clear what it cleared there. It cleared action yards, or we can go officially 60, but it says we can go 70, and up ahead is going to be an 80 mile an hour zone. Just to remind you, if you want to go 80, go ahead and break your engine, but it's totally fine. We're going max speed 75 miles an hour. That's about as fast as we're going to go. The electromotive screen is blue. This is kind of cool. I like it blue. Blue looks a lot better. Someone please tell me why they did this and why I'm driving a Scottish rail. Maybe there's something different in this engine I don't know anything about. We'll have to kind of play around with this and see what else is new here other than pressing Q. Yeah, so ever since the Class 66s were discontinued, that left Great Britain essentially a hole for building new rail lines, and they were not able to build new Class 66s. So what they decided to do was take the EMD built Class 66, the one that they made for GB Railfreight, and by the way, the Class 66s were originally derived from the SD40 design. So 30 new locomotives were then picked up and funded by a leasing firm called Beacon Rail, and those are designated as how original class UK class 99. UK class 99 people. Are you serious? You're telling me that the class 66 that looks like this is going to be a class 99 that looks like this, and it's just going to be upside down. So the class 99, oh look at that, Networker Turbo, love it. The class 99 is going to be built in Spain. We gotta push Q, golly, the Q. So the Class 99s are going to be built, the UK Class 99s for the GB Railfreight. I'm going to make that distinction because it's all about GB Railfreight, not the Great Western Express. So keep in mind I'm making that little distinction here today. The Class 99s are going to be built in Spain, which, oh my god, built in Spain. No, we're talking about built in Spain. And those deliveries are going to begin in 2025. The 2025 deliveries are going to come with a 6-axle locomotive derived from Stadler's existing EuroDual design. And I'm going to come back to the EuroDual in a little bit. It's built in the Spanish shops in the suburb of Valencia, Spain. If you don't know where that is, maybe I'll pull it up on the map for you guys so you can all see where that's at. Oh my god, somebody say this 10,000 times fast. The EuroDual, oh my god, I can't say it. EuroDual design. The EuroDual design is currently in use by multiple industries and is in use by France, Germany, as well as other locations since 2020, and uses a 16-cylinder Caterpillar. Oh my god, all you guys, off the line please. Uses a 16-cylinder Caterpillar C175 diesel engine that was manufactured in the US. Yes, your UK rail is produced here in the United States, what do you know? But it's actually put together in Spain, of all places. How does this work? I don't exactly know. What engine is the plan for the use of the Class 99 hasn't actually been revealed, although Stadler said they will be rated between 2,200 and 2,400 HP, with low emissions meeting European Stage 5 requirements. Keep that in mind, the US is building an engine that's going to meet European low emission standard, yet the US can't seem to figure out how to make its own low emission standard. Someone tell me something weird is going on here, folks. Ironically, the Class 99 locomotive is also going to go 75 miles an hour, just like the Class 66. They didn't flip that around and make it 57 miles an hour, right? The goal for GB Railfreight is to use the new locomotive to replace the EMD Class 66 diesel, working the intermodal trains from Felixstowe Port east of London, and actually reducing carbon emissions by around 50% per journey, which is quite fantastic, quite frankly. I gotta give them a lot of credit for that. And most of these routes already use the Class 66 locomotive operating for long distances on electrified trains. GB Railfreight expects the use of the new Class 99 locomotive will reduce that carbon footprint by at least 470 tons every single working day. The reason for that, the reason why the Class 99s are able to do that is because the Class 99 uses electric power on these electrified routes. So that means these power lines, maybe not in this specific area, but the power lines are going to be powering these Class 99 as a way to reduce the power, almost like you have a little mini solar panel sitting on top of your engine that powers your engine and gets you rolling down the hill. Alright folks, we are about 3 miles out from West Drayton Platform 3. All we have got to do is go through via location here, and we got to go through via location in Maidenhead Platform 3 as well. And then we're going to eventually dock at Reading for the rest of the journey, where the rest of the journey's got to go. But in the meantime, we got to make sure we don't accidentally overspeed, because I can already see I'm hitting 70 miles an hour, so my speed limit's at 75, folks. And not just that, we need to pay attention. We have a little wet wheel on the road, and we need to make sure that we're not going to accidentally lock our wheels out like we did in the last episode. That was no fun. And we need to make sure that we coast our way through, plus honk our horn at all of these people just walking the line there, man. All those people are getting clipped left and right. That's just terrible. Oh my god, speed limit! What the heck? I didn't... Oh my god, I saw it, but I didn't. Oh my god, that's just so bad. Okay, applying the brakes. Let's slow it down nice and easy without wheel flipping, folks. Without wheel flipping, we need to go a lot slower than this. Apparently the line is 60 miles an hour. What am I doing, folks? I am just so bad. Am I going to screw up my 8,050 AP points? Probably. There's a good chance for that. If I do, that means I'll be recording this all over again. Yay. I gotta hand it to these EWSs here. If you look on the outside, you can hear the horn pretty decently, but if you're on the inside, it's barely audible. I love this. This is great. The American freight need this sort of thing where you're not hearing the bells on Train World so loud in your ears that it's causing you to go blind with your ears, right? And it's so much better this way. Oh my god, that was interesting. I actually didn't hit Q that time. The thing came on, but it's because I used my throttle. Interesting. So throttle may be a thing with this EWS. Anyhow, so let's honk our horn, get a couple people off the yellow line, because I see that one person there as we pass through West Drayton Platform 3. And we are now headed to Maidenhead Platform 3 in 11 miles. Let us roll out. I saw that red light there, and my eyes just lit up. I'm like, oh no. Yeah, so one of the reasons I'm mentioning Great Britain Rail Freight rather than the Great Western Main Line is Sadler had already built smaller and less powerful 4-axle version dual mode locomotive for the UK, the Class 88 design. Those from the UK will probably know the Class 88 design, and that's currently being used by freight company Direct Rail Services. Oh my god, Q. And a new tri-mode diesel electric slash battery, okay, I'm saying that wrong, diesel slash electric slash battery version, designated the Class 93, is already on order for passenger and freight use. And GB Railfreight has been one of the most enthusiastic and probably prolific users of the EMD diesel in the UK. It not only bought its own Class 66s, but also bought second-hand used Class 66s from various operators in mainland Europe, and they modified them for their use in the UK, where different clearances and stuff, as well as the safety system, do differ between other European countries and the GB Railfreight lines. However, GB Railfreight has converted quite a few older British Rail Class 56 units to EMD 710 engines, and have bought these several years ago before the new emission rules did take effect. When those new emission rules did take effect, it does create some issues for GB Railfreight, and this is why they're starting to push out and create the Class 99 locomotive. Therefore, the Stadler locomotive shop in Valencia had a huge history of working with the EMDs, and most recently they worked on the F125 for the Los Angeles commuter operational. Oh my god. The Sadler Locomotive Shop in Valencia had quite a long history of working on EMD type engine, and most recently they worked with the F25 for the LA rail line, the Metrolink line. If you haven't played that, that's available in Train Sim World now. Yay! The plant's origins actually go back all the way to the Spanish firm Macosta, which built EMD design from 1960 forward for use in Spanish railways. One day we should get into Spanish rail. Train Sim World, where's our Spanish rail? I know you will bring it to us, so bring it to us today. Before Stadler bought out the firm in 2015, the Spanish railways ended up using EMD designs for export and also building them. And Alstom and Vossloh each owned it for more than a decade before Stadler finally got a hold of it. I will try to pull up a picture, if I didn't already do this, I will try to pull up a picture of the Class 99s just to see what they look like, so you have a kind of a rough comparison to see what they look like. It's kind of neat. It looks like the Class 66, just a little different. So because GB Railfreight signed a deal with Stadler, and I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that right. Somebody's probably going to be like, it's Stadler, say it's Stadler. But anyways, the Class 99 are considered COCO locomotives. They're bi-mode COCO locomotives, which is interesting, a nice way to say it. So if the sheds are sheds, that means the 99, well actually should I say this? If the Class 66s are sheds, that means the Class 99s are COCOs. Makes you think about that, right? Makes you think. The whole point of getting these hybrid fleet from Beacon Rail is the fact that the UK government's ideal of moving forward with electrification and rolling it out, despite the fact that there's been delays, cost overruns, and cancellation, they're still pushing forward with electrification, and this enables the Class 99 to run on electricity everywhere across the UK if needed, and helps it reduce the carbon footprint, like I said. And high quality reliable servicing becomes critical for ensuring that the fleet itself that they pick up for GB Railfreight can meet the demand and impact the environment at the same time. For now, the first 30 locomotives are going to be managed and maintained at the depot in Leicester. Don't tell me if it's wrong. I'm sure it's wrong, folks, but Leicester, we're going to call it that. That's how it is. It's going to be up on the map for you guys. And in that new depot, these Class 99s are going to receive tailored maintenance solution to ensure that high quality service maintains itself and stays moving. Stadler will actually be responsible for the overhauls, parts, materials, supplies, vehicle repairs, service and support, data, and any kind of maintenance software that's necessary for the Class 99 to be successful on the road. Geez, I'm beating again. Good job. But this time it's not so bad. All we have to do is hit 55. Whatever happened to that mile an hour, I'm just not paying attention at all. I'm just going to let this drop off. It's going to drop off on its own. I'm just going to get a couple 15 points. It'll be fine. But it's all because of these folks. Look at that suitcase guy. That suitcase guy just got thrown to the side. Good job. Let me see on this side. I bet you it's going to be the same deal on this side. Oh, it's going to be camera 8 that's going to do it, or camera 3, but that's okay. Suitcase guy, you are just totally messing with us right now. You're gone. He's gone. He's just been squished and whatever happened to him. Something else I noticed, by the way, in the back of this engine, the gladhand, I am floored by this. The physics of a gladhand actually cause them to lift up into the sky. That's the best thing ever. Where this thing is kind of funny, if you, depending on the angle of your camera, you'll make it go up and then it comes back down. It's kind of nifty how that works. Anyways, blinky light, time to go back to the main engine. The EuroDual mode engine, they're also known as Faux EuroDual engines. That was up until 2015 when eventually Stadler took over and whatnot. This is considered dual power electro-diesel locomotive by Stadler Rail Valencia. In Spain, of course. We've been talking about Spain for a little while now. It says I can go 60. I'm a little scared to go 60 because I'm wondering if I'm going to get a speed limit bump in the other direction. Unlike other traditional dual mode locomotives, those locomotives are actually fitted with low power diesel engines for a last mile type of thing, a last mile movement. I guess the best thing you could probably compare it to maybe is something like a Prius. I'm not saying a Prius is like this, but the idea behind it is like it. You run on electricity, yay, and then you run out of electricity because your tires go dead, and you turn on the engine, beep, and you drive the rest of the way over to where you need to go. The EuroDual series was launched by Voslo during 2012, and it shares a lot of its design with the single power Euro Light family of locomotives. Being it the fact that it's super customizable, it meets customer demand. It has various size power plants that can be fitted. It can be configured as a tri-mode vehicle with an installation of a battery pack. So that means you get diesel, electric, and battery. Whether this will be something we will ever see in the US, probably not anytime soon. I doubt we'll see anything like this in the US anytime soon. There are actually 3 distinct versions of the EuroDual that have seen actual live use. The UK Dual for the United Kingdom, the Prasa Dual for South Africa, and an unbranded series for Germany. We all know that one was made by Trainstone World, right? Because there's an unbranded line out there, and we all know which company might have done that unbranded line. Just go with it, folks. Just go with it. By 2019, 30 of those locomotives had been constructed, with 74 EuroDuals reportedly on the books to eventually get sold and built and all that good stuff. Because it's not a last mile locomotive, it was designed for routinely handling heavy freight consists. Think of this, heavy freight consists right here. We've got this nice freight train that we've got on our train here. That's what we're looking to do. That's what we're looking to build, and that's what we're looking to deliver, right? That's what they aim for. And so because of that, they wanted it as a dual mode replacement for the Euro 4000, which also ceased production as well, because that was not compliant with European Stage 3A emission standards. So all of these locomotives in the European Union ended up having a period of needing redesign and redevelopment because they were not meeting standards anymore. Where the UK, not the UK, where the US still has literally the first locomotive that literally released that's full of steam and carbon emissions and all that, and is still driving around today because why? We love steam engines. I can see I got some yellows coming ahead, and I need to pay attention to that because I'm just gonna mess myself up at some point with these yellow lights, man. The EuroDual is suited for both passenger and freight applications, and it operates up to speed of about 160 kilometers per hour. For those in the US, it's about 99 miles per hour. Yeah, just shy of 100. I don't know why. The market for dual mode trains is a growing market because nobody's just going to start buying regular diesel except for the United States. The United States wants to be different like that. They're going to be the one driving the standard diesel. But out here in the UK, everybody's going to be driving electric, everybody's going to be driving battery power, and there's not going to be very many pure diesel locomotives except for in those museums. Some of you have probably been there before. In those museums, that's where you're going to find the pure diesel locomotives. The EuroDual was designed essentially as a modular platform, and the goal again was to essentially swap in parts and build it based on customer design or customer wants or customer needs. The dual mode can be equipped with diesel engines of various power ratings, which is really nice, and that's very specified by different customers. So in South Africa, they probably don't have the European standard 3A need to meet or anything like that, so they can work around that and they can do what they can to change design up for that and offer more diesel, less power for batteries and whatnot. We're pulling into Maidenhead platform 3. We got more people on the line. Let's see if that horn actually kicks people off the road. It did not hear. Whatever, folks. We have 12 miles before we stop at Reading. We have to keep in mind on the way to Reading, we're probably going to have to slam our brakes a few dozen times. We're starting to hit close to 60 miles an hour, and we have to remember not to overspeed. I'm supposed to get 8,050. What's up with this? I'm not getting anything. I've gotten like crap scores here for some reason. This is really bad, folks. This is just so bad. Alright, folks, I noticed I'm getting 35 AP score for every time I get the speed limit thing, and I do have all of my stuff set up correctly, my engine set up correctly. So what's going on? Why is my engine not giving me the AP score that it's supposed to give me? I thought it would give me 65. I mean, everything is set up like it's supposed to. What's missing? Am I missing something in here? I don't think so. All the fuses are on like it's supposed to be. I know the DSD isolate and everything is set the way it's supposed to be and all that good stuff. So there should be no reason that this train should be getting me some like crap score that has been getting me all mission. This is probably why I'm getting like crap scores right now, 3,000 AP points. And I don't think I'm going to make it at the rate I'm going here. I have 10 miles to try to get 8,000 AP. We're going to see what happens. I'm going to hope for the best, folks. So the EuroDual engines have the ability to have a configuration where they can recover energy via regenerative braking, which also improves operational efficiency. I don't know, well, that's not true. The American Freight does have something like regenerative braking. However, the American Freight uses their regenerative braking to go into their dynamic braking system. So the way the American Freights work is you turn on the dynamic brakes, and the faster you go, the more active the dynamic brakes are actually on. However, it will slowly drop off as the train slows down, which will be very similar to regenerative braking here. But the difference here is you can actually have the train slowed down by regenerative braking, and obviously that will drop off as the train slows down. So I guess it's about the same. Maybe it's the dynamic brake system. Direct Rail Services, Rail Operation Group, and GB Railfreight were the three organizations that decided to order the dual rail or the EuroDual locomotive. My God, I can't say that. And Direct Rail Services opted to designate theirs to Class 88. They're designed to development the Class 66 with its Stadler UK light diesel locomotives that Direct Rail Services introduced in 2014. Therefore, it has the body shell, cab, brakes, bogies, traction equipment, and control software in common. And this particular Class 88 is now conforming with the European 3B emission standard, unlike that of the Class 68. Rail Operations Group, on the other hand, in 2021 ordered 30 Class 93 locomotives with 10 deliveries scheduled for sometime this year. Actually, wait, no, that's not true. Sometime last year, so they got their delivery. And unlike the earlier Class 88, these shall be tri-mode vehicles, which is going to include a battery pack, enabling more operations away from overhead wires without activating the diesel engine. And of course, GB Railfreight in 2022 ordered the 30 Class 99 locomotives and did the same sort of thing. And all of these, again, are to meet the European 3A and 3B emission standards, which all of the older locomotives were not able to meet. This is like crazy interesting that I am not getting any of the AP score for this mission like I'm supposed to. This is insane. I might have to do this mission over again and just try to strive for a platinum medal. I don't understand what's happened and what's different. I mean, my safety systems are on in this train. You can obviously tell I keep pressing Q every day to get the safety system to work. But we're going to find, I think the only way I can figure this out is to get to the other end of the mission and see what in the world has happened to this mission and why I'm not getting the AP score I'm not getting. I got 4 miles to stop and I'm only at 3,000 or 4,000. I'm only half of my AP score. That's just stupid and really ridiculous. We're gonna have to go ahead and end the mission at least and see what my score is at the end of the mission. And then I'm gonna go replay this again and I'm gonna go try a couple things and I'm gonna go see what's different this time around if I do that. I wonder if that initial overspeed that I did influenced my game and messed a lot of things up. Or if it's because they needed the wipers on even though it's not raining. I'm super curious about that idea. In fact, let's turn on a wiper. Let's just see what happens. I'm kind of curious right now. We're gonna turn on the wipers for a second and we're gonna, gosh, stop AP. We're gonna see what happens with the next AP score. No, it still says 35. So the wipers have nothing to do with anything. We're in Reading. I'm very disappointed right now that my AP score is not 8,000 AP. That is so dumb. I've got half the AP score that I'm supposed to have. And I wonder how and what the best way of fixing this, because this is almost impossible to fix at this point. That's right, because of stopping. No, I don't have any passengers to unload. I was going to be like, I could unload passengers, but that's not going to help me. Goodness, I'm gonna actually roll through that light. My gosh, I hope I don't roll through the light too badly, because it's about not very far away. Goodness. Yeah, we're gonna have to stop some more, folks. Come on, train. Come on, train. You can do it. There it goes. Much better. All right, so here we go. Here we go. We are stopped, and we're going to go ahead and see what's going on with this mission. What happened? Why is this mission not reporting the proper AP score? So let's see what's up. Speeding minus 140. That does not do anything useful for me. I got a gold medal. What do you know? I actually got a gold medal, but I didn't get the platinum medal. That is very interesting, folks. So I wonder if I fix the speeding episode, especially this first speeding episode, will that solve this problem and I'll get a higher AP score for these things? Because there's this little dip here as well. So I'm going to try to replay this mission on my own, and I'm going to see what the different, and I'm going to try to see if I can report back at the other end and see what's different. In the meantime, like I said earlier, do like and subscribe, leave me a comment, help me figure out why I didn't get the platinum medal if you happen to know, if I don't end up getting platinum medal the second time around. So let me see what happened. Otherwise, oh, it says use safety systems. Look at that. It said use safety system. Something happened with the safety system. Interesting. Maybe that's the problem, folks. Alright, folks, I am back into it. This is interesting. I'm still in the same locomotive, but this is now green instead of blue. Good job, me. So I am going to figure out what happened. It's already set to day headlight mode, so I'm just going to turn that on, turn the intermittent light on. I don't need demister, however, maybe I'll turn that on. Maybe that was an issue. It somehow said my safety systems were not on. Is that right? Did I understand it right? We're going to go in the fuse cabinet here. We're going to go ahead and unisolate the DSD. And we're going to go ahead and do this again with this button. And we're going to have to turn off that really annoying sound and get that turned off. So that proves the AWS is on. But I'm also going to do Control Enter. That doesn't do anything. We're going to do Shift Enter. And you can already see it says both of those are off and both of those are on. And so the safety system we now confirm are turned on. So we're going to turn on the parking brake just for a minute, and we're going to just play around with this, and we're going to see what's going on here and why the safety system decided not to be on. And let's go ahead and release our brakes. We're going to activate the direct brake, and then we're going to unactivate the direct brake just to see if this has anything to do with the safety system. I'm not going to touch the other stuff because I'm going to leave it the way it is. And the brakes should be ready to go. So we're going to go ahead and release our parking brakes, and we're going to set that back to off. We're going to our master key is already in there, so we're going to put that to forward, and we're going to go ahead and go with throttle 3, and we're going to start to pay attention to what's up with this. I'm not going to redo the entire mission in front of you guys again, because you all know how the mission goes already. But what we want to know, and what's most important here, is what happened to the safety system. Then how can we get that safety system to trigger, so that way we get the proper AP score, because we were not getting the proper AP score. So we're going to go and see if we actually can start to get the proper AP score recorded as we roll our train along here. That is interesting. The horn in this one is very different than the other one. I have a very different train here than I had last time. That is very, very, very interesting. Oh, the gladhand. That's actually kind of funny. I actually thought it was the wind that was holding this up, but it looks like it just keeps itself up on its own. What do you know? Folks, look at that, 65 AP. So there was something wrong with the safety system. That's what happened with this mission. I get it now. So something influenced the mission, and the safety system did not properly trigger in this mission. So keep in mind, folks, with this particular mission, I don't remember the mission name. You guys will look at it on the title. It's on there. But I turned on the safety system. You saw me turn it on with this button, and it turned on. But for some reason, it didn't properly trigger, and I wonder if it had to do with the parking brakes. I turned that on anyways. It's probably an outlier. Who knows? But to get this to work, then, that means you might want to have to do shift enter to activate the safety systems. So turn it back off and then turn it back on. It's working now. I'm getting 65 AP for my score here. So what I'm going to do with this mission, since you already know how this mission went, you already know I got this drive really well, we're going to go ahead and switch tracks. We're going to go all the way down to West Drayton Platform 3. We're going to go to Maidenhead, and then we're going to go ahead and get back to my 2 miles that I left off at Reading. So I will see you guys in, my gosh, probably 11 miles, 12 miles. No, that's not right. 20 miles. And for you guys, it'll be just one little brief edit, and we'll catch up with you on the other end, and we'll see what my AP score looks like at that point. Okay, folks, we are finally about, give or take about 3 miles out from Reading. This is about the point I was talking about here. And you can already see I'm at 7,600 AP score, so there's a good chance I'm going to get my 8050. I'll probably get 9,000 AP score like I was getting before. So whatever happened in this mission, the safety system went all wonky and didn't properly turn on. Even though I reviewed the footage here and everything turned on like it was supposed to, I'm not sure what it was. Maybe it was because the parking brake wasn't on like it was when I started moving the engine, or maybe it had something to do with me moving the engine before I turned the brakes off. I don't know what it is, but whatever reason, the engine had the screen blue, and that's the only reason, and that's my conspiracy for why the safety system never properly turned on. In the meantime, we got to slow down to 40 like we did in the last attempt at doing this and getting that gold medal there. Whether I'm going to keep that part of the footage in, I'm not sure. We'll find out when I get there. But in the meantime, we're just going to get this train slowed back down to about 40 miles an hour, and we should be golden. I'm just easing off the brakes a little bit. I don't want to have to do that emergency stop like I did the other moment ago. My goodness. But there is a chance that if you have to, you just throw the emergency brake. A real good driver would not throw the emergency brake. As you can tell, I'm under a lot of pressure here to get this AP score properly correct, because I am finally got that platinum medal with that 8055. So I was under a lot of pressure to get that. So, I was trying to drive my best, right? That's how it goes. Of course, right? As a good engineer would say, right? Their AP score matters. No, it doesn't. What matters a lot is just judging distance. Knowing that we have to stop in about 1.5 miles, it matters that you have good judgment of distance, and you, especially with a train that's 20 cars long with one engine doing all the stopping work, you make sure you stop your train properly. In fact, in the last segment of me doing this, the stop was actually really good. I didn't go through the danger of Reading. However, there's a good chance you could go through danger of Reading, especially like that network or turbo that was in front of me. I was thinking, oh wait, I had the chance, I probably could just sail through, but then I realized the red light wasn't changing as fast as I was hoping it was, and I was like, okay, you know what, for better safety's sake, I'm not sure how slow it's going to take for the emergency brake to actually slam and shut off the engine. I'm going to play it safe and I'm just going to slam that emergency brake just in case. And it stopped way more than I expected. I'm really surprised by that, honestly. Alright folks, so we are about 6 miles away from Reading again on the second attempt to get this right to try to get my 8050 AP. And we got a red zone coming up, and it's probably due to the networker turbo that's sitting in Reading right now. So we just got to slow our train down, and once we hit this yellow light there, we're not going to have very long to stop this train. So we're just going to go ahead and slow this train down nice and easy. And hope for the best that we get to about 40 miles an hour, and then hope that we don't pass that single at danger, because we're finally getting the AP score that we want here. There's the stop. I think at least that might be Reading, or might be the station before Reading. We're pretty far out, so it's definitely the station before Reading. So there's a networker turbo up ahead, and we are going to have to stop this train. So let's go ahead and slow this down much quicker, much quicker. Come on, train. Come on, you can do it. Oh my god, oh my god, oh no, 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 no. Stop, train, I don't want to have to use emergency brake. I'm going to have to use emergency brake. We're going to have to go for it. Emergency brake, please, please. Okay, thank goodness. No more emergency brake, we're done. Thank you, thank you. We're okay, everything's okay. Wow, wow, I didn't want to screw my game up that much, so I slammed the brakes. I did, I slammed the brakes, folks. That's what I did. It didn't set off the warning, so I'm okay. All I have to do is just speed up. I didn't vacate the entire tube, so everything's okay, right? Oh, that's right. We have to vacate this tube in order to get our stuff moving. Ooh, that was a close one. Yikes, I didn't want to have to go through that light. That would have been terrible to have to redo this a third time. Alright folks, welcome back to Reading. Hey, this is where we left off, where I was like, my EP score is crap and I'm not doing so well, but I drove the mission really well, especially the last time. All I did was just miss those 2 overspeed points. This time I recognized where they were. They were actually just before the Via location, so I just took a little extra initiative to slow my train down ahead of time so I wouldn't have those problems, because I wanted to make sure my EP score for sure got over the mark than it did last time. And I made sure I hit every single AWS just to make sure there. I do have a stop in 400 yards, so we're going to have to like apply a little bit more brake here just to make sure the train stops. And I might end up stopping a little short, but I would rather stop a little short than go over the limit here. Oh, going over the limit would be like the worst thing ever, right? The worst thing ever to do that. So we've got to go a little bit slower here. There we go, 10 miles an hour. This is what I'm looking for, to get under 9. That would be appreciative. And then we're just going to kind of coast along, and let's hope we can just coast along the rest of the way to 200 yards, and then we will finally call it a day. All those ladies are sitting on the bench. They're like, welcome back, we missed you, where did you go? I went back and restarted the mission, and this person right there of course is angry because not only am I early, I'm also blocking their train from messing with them the last time. They can't go to where they gotta go because they gotta wait for me to get this train stopped, off, and reloaded with another engineer. What can we do? Yeah, the problem with stopping at Reading is the fact that the red light is in about 200 yards, where the stop itself is 150 yards. It's not that very far off. It's about 30-yard difference. How does this math work out? Because I'm looking at 2 different numbers, and the numbers are dropping, and so I'm kind of overestimating the numbers. So in other words, you've only got maybe a 30-yard difference to stop your train from the stop itself to the actual light itself, which is the worst thing you can ever do, is end up in the wrong place to stop. My train is actually slowing down quite nicely. I'm not using any brakes to do it. It's just naturally slowing itself down due to the weight of the cargo. And we're going to cross my fingers like this, and we're going to hope that in 3.9 miles per hour, it's going to drop down to 0. Right on target, 80 yards away. That would be like the coolest experience ever. In fact, we're going to go to camera 8 and we're going to try to see if that will actually be true. I'm probably going to have to apply brakes to do it, but that would be like the coolest thing ever if this train just naturally stopped and hit a perfect stop right where I wanted it. I'm just going to let it stop. I'm not even going to speed up. We're going to actually see what this does. This is going to be so fun. Alright folks, we got the last cab car. Let's see if we can get this. We're at 2 miles an hour almost, and 18 yards away. I'm probably going to have to apply brakes. I'm probably just going to keep on rolling through. But look at this. This was so close. This was just so close, man. We're going to go ahead and apply the brakes. This is good enough. I don't need to go through danger. This is perfectly fine. Let's stop the train right here, and let's go to the end screen and see what our final score is. This time, safety systems are turned on to give me an additional 3,780 AP score. This is a much better drive than I did, except for this emergency brake I did right here. That was terrible. Otherwise, I could have had something very similar to this going all the way to the end. So if you liked this whole episode of literally driving this thing twice, but only seeing this thing once, Good job, me, right? Definitely like and subscribe, leave me a comment, and I would love to hear you guys and what your thoughts are. In the meantime, I believe this is the last of the Chapter 3 missions, which means we're going right into the Chapter 4 mission, which happened to be mainline drivers, and which happened to be a bunch of HSTs, networker turbos, and Class 66s. So let us get into those in the next episode. See y'all in the next one. Bye, guys. And it's not exactly 10 acres. It's actually a little bit more than 10 acres. Just so you know before you come back to me and say you can't have that many horses. But anyhow, so these horses, the water pump had broken, and in a flash, you're basically going, oh